joined by head coach Sparky McEwen. The team dropped a 37-14 decision at Grand Valley State last Saturday. You guys opened the game by driving 75 yards in 10 plays for a rushing touchdown by Caden Collins. What made that first drive so successful?
Execution. It's something that we've talked about from day one, and it was nice. It's nice to see that come out of the gate and execute, the plays that we had scripted, and that was the positive side. But the negative is that we didn't continue to do that over the course of 4 quarters.
That leads me to my next question. You guys did move it effectively in the first half, 247 yards, but just 55 in the second half. What do you think were the key factors in that difference?
That's something that we talked about is when you're going against, these really good football teams, that the margin for error is extremely slim, and we continue to show some inconsistencies in some of the things that we're doing, and we actually returned, I think it's 17 or 18 starters the following year. And I told the guys, I says, the good programs, they reload, they don't rebuild. And it's time to stop some of those, those plays, those missed assignments, that we're having right now. Because when you're in games like that, good teams make you pay, and that's what we did.
You guys do fall behind 21-7 in the second quarter. Then you guys got a big play in the passing game, 75-yard reception by Ernest Sanders from DeJuan Mathis. Just describe the great individual effort by Sanders there on the sideline and how that gave your team a boost.
Yeah, it was a really good play by him and execution by him. He and DeJuan and even the line, for that matter. That's a play where it's a side adjustment, and DeJuan made this correct side adjustment, and Sanders made a great play on the ball, and the rest was history. He had a dash for the end zone, and it's so nice to see it come to fruition when these guys put the work in, put the time in, and then they execute the play the way they did, and that was a play that was needed, because then you go in at halftime, I think it was 21-14, feeling good about yourself, and it should have set itself up for a good second half.
You have another quality opponent coming in for homecoming, Michigan Tech, 4-1 right now, merging as one of the best in the conference. What do you have to do on Saturday to get the victory?
Well, once again, it's always a tough Michigan Tech football team, and Davenport and Michigan Tech plays aggressive style of football, physical style of football. Since I've been here, that's been one heck of a match and a battle, and Coach is doing a great job with his football team this year, and the kids are executing at a high level. They're scoring a lot of points. We've got to work, we've got to work ahead of us. Our guys know in order to win this football game, they're going to have to execute at a high level. If we don't do that, it's going to be a struggle. They know that, and they got a great passer, great receivers. They got a great defense. They've done a good job, executing their scheme and getting kids to play fast, and that's what you want to do as a head coach. So our kids understand the assignment. They know we got to come prepared to play, and they got to play for 4 quarters.
Again, homecoming this Saturday. How excited are the guys to finally be playing at home?
Man, we're just happy to sleep in our own beds on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays these days. And coming home before our student athletes and our faculty, we're excited, and alumni will be able to come back as well. And they're all coming back to, it should be one heck of a football game. So it's good, though, to be home because it seems like it's been forever. I think it's been maybe 2,800 miles we've traveled, and hats goes off to these kids. We've got – we're sitting here at 2-2, and we know it could be a little different. But other than that, I'm proud of the kids. They're learning at a good rate, but we got to take that next step if we want to be one of those teams to compete for a GLIAC title.
Kickoff is 2 o'clock here on Saturday at the farm. Come on out and support your Panthers. Good luck, Coach.
Go Panthers.